Hello everybody, this is Devdatta and today we'll be talking about a very important topic which is very important for GATE, for your college exams as well as from an interview perspective. Okay, so we'll be talking about these three topics in detail and let us see how we will be proceeding. Before that, a little bit about myself. I'm a BTech final year student at Jadavpur University. I have secured a GATE rank of 150 in 2020. Placed at a top pharmaceutical company at the moment. I have 4 months of research experience at IIT Kharagpur. I have a research paper which is under review. Now, before proceeding, you will need the following knowledge of mass transfer, especially of absorption and distillation. So, how will we proceed? A little bit about that first. So, I'll just briefly discuss all the three types of efficiencies in detail, which will be beneficial to you. And then I will be answering some of the typical interview questions of about efficiencies, like whether it can be more than one or it can be negative or not. And then I'll discuss a gate question. Okay. So, what is efficiency basically? Usually, it is assumed that the vapor leaving the tray is actually in equilibrium with the liquid leaving the tray from here. However, in most practical scenarios, the time of contact is not sufficient for these two streams to achieve equilibrium among them. As a result, the efficiency of a stage or a tray is not 100%, so it is less than 100% in practical situations. So the overall efficiency is the first type of efficiency which we will talk about. Now it is very simple. It is defined as the number of ideal trays divided by the number of actual trays. So it is defined, it is denoted as E naught, and due to its simplicity, it is also the least fundamental because it does not tell us how each tray is functioning, whether there is some problem with the tray or not. It just talks about the entire column basically. For example, just a little small numerical to illustrate it. If there are 8 theoretical steps which are needed to separate the components, the overall efficiency, let's say, is 60%. Then the number of theoretical tray, which is 8 minus a reboiler, in this case a partial reboiler. So there are 7 trays. So the actual number of trays will be 7 divided by zero point 0.6, which is 11.7 or approx 12 trays. So we can see that the actual number is 11.7 and the theoretical number is which is 7. So the actual number is greater than the theoretical number for all practical purposes. Okay. Now the most important efficiency, I think, from interview and even practical perspectives, the Murphy tray efficiency is denoted as E sub m, and it is denoted by y sub n minus y sub n plus 1 minus y of n star, which is the equilibrium, and minus y of n plus 1. Now what are these terms? Let us see. Okay, now y sub n is actually the average actual composition of the vapor, of the mixed vapor leaving the tray n. So let us say this is tray n. By nomenclature, the tray just below it will be the tray n plus 1 and the tray above it will be tray n minus 1 over here. This is the n minus 1 and n plus 1. Okay. The vapor that is generated from a tray, suppose nth tray, is yn, and similarly from n plus 1, which is below it, will be yn plus 1. Okay, and the liquid which is coming from the top tray, the n minus 1th tray, that will have a concentration of xn minus 1. Okay, now this yn is basically the average of all the vapor compositions that is coming out from a tray, and the yn plus 1 is the average of all the vapor compositions which is coming into this tray. Okay, so this average is very important because the concentration of vapor can vary at each point. Okay, that is very important to understand. So yn is the average actual composition leaving tray n, and yn plus 1 is the average actual composition of the mixed vapor entering the tray. Yn star is, let us say, uh, Yn star is actually the concentration of vapor that will be in equilibrium corresponding to the outlet xn. This is the outlet xn. Okay, now corresponding to this outlet, whatever is the equilibrium composition, okay, you will have some y star corresponding to this. Now this y star corresponding to this xn can be easily found out from the equilibrium data available at any handbook. Okay, so that is what y star over here is. Okay, corresponding to the outlet xn, not any xn on the tray but the outlet xn. That is very important. That is what yn star is. It has to be found out from the tables, or in exams and gate it will be given to you in most cases. Okay, now let's proceed. Now a very important concept is that for all practical cases in the industry, these columns are quite big in diameter. Now due to this, what happens is that whenever you have this liquid coming in from here, right, xn minus 1 is the initial concentration. Let us say it is some 0.5. At this point it is 0.5. When it will traverse the entire length of the tray, the concentration 0.5 of whatever component, let's say the most volatile component is having a 0.5 concentration over here, it will continuously decrease along the length of this tray, and till when it reaches here at this junction, the concentration will be further lowered. It continuously gets lowered as it travels from one end to the other end. Okay, to the other end. Now why does this happen? Okay, so it is having a high concentration, so it is having some concentration over here, some 0.5, let's say. Now whenever a vapor is coming over here and meeting it, that will strip away some of the volatile component. So let's say it was 0.5 at here, that it has been stripped out. Now it is still traveling. It will, let's say over here it will be 0.4, 0.3, become 0.2 over here. So the volatile component gets stripped away, and that is what we see in the vapor, right? This is the vapors. So the volatile components are getting stripped away like this. So what happens, the vapor that is just available in the initial portion of this entire space, this vapor will be the most concentrated one, and this vapor, so let's say in this part, will be the most lean one from the perspective of the most volatile component, isn't it? So this understanding, this concept is very important for this lecture. Okay, so let's proceed. So since we have understood this, now that is why we need the averaging. Now you can understand why we need to average it, because all these concentrations at this point, at this point, at this point, at this point, all these vapor composition will be different. Similarly, this point, this point, this point, this point, all these vapor compositions will be different. That is why we take the average in the definition of EM. So I hope this is making sense. So exactly what is happening? We have a concentration gradient along the tray. Along the tray, we have a concentration gradient, right? This topic is this portion. Can the Murphy efficiency be negative? Is just for knowledge. This is not very important from gate. This is for knowledge and for interview purpose only. Okay. And when does the EM become negative? This is mostly it happens for multi-component mixtures. Okay, not for binary. For multi-component mixture, where we have many 10-15 components. Okay, there what happens, on a particular tray you have many components, and each of these components have their own Murphy efficiency, their own EM values. And what happens due to that, All these components will have their own concentration gradients along the tray. All will be decreasing along the tray, right? Decreasing along the tray. Suppose it enters here, liquid, and it flows out here. So all of them will have a concentration gradient. Now all will have their own EM values, the own Murphy efficiency values. Due to that, there will be an interdependence between these concentration gradients. This is called mass transfer coupling among various concentration gradients. Due to this effect, we might get one or two of those EM values to be negative. Now, I will not elaborate this anymore because this is not very important, but this is important just to remember that it can be possible. Okay. Next, point efficiency. Now, this understanding this is also very important. See, the difference between our past Murphy efficiency and this notation is only different with this dash sign over each of the term, right? See, there is a dash sign right here. Now, point efficiency is this dash sign means that you choose any point on the tray. Suppose you choose this point. You choose this particular point on the tray. Okay. Now the vapor coming to this tray and at this point will have the concentration yn plus 1 dash this, and the vapor leaving this point will have yn dash. Now we understand that much. We are not talking about the entire average in this case, but we are only talking about a particular point on the tray. Let me take another color. This is not let's try red. Okay, so even what is even more interesting is that the equilibrium is thought of differently in this case. Earlier what we were saying is that the equilibrium y star will be corresponding to this outlet xn. Here the equilibrium will be corresponding to the xn at this particular point. Whatever xn you have at this point, we will consider yn star corresponding to this xn, not this one here. This is only for Murphy, but this is what we want right now, the point efficiency. So even this, even the equilibrium term in this definition is different for point efficiency. So now I think from a mathematical perspective, you can differentiate between Murphy efficiency and point efficiency, at least from the formula perspective. Okay. So this is very important. Everything should be at the same point, not at this point here and this point. So let us at the same point. Everything will be considered at the same point. So for a smaller diameter tower, what happens is that the liquid on a particular tray, let's say this tray, is actually perfectly mixed by the vapor that is coming into this tray, and it is kind of bubbling the tray, which is resulting in a perfectly mixed state. Okay. Now, due to this, what is happening? Any vapor that is originating from this tray, due to this perfectly mixed scenario, any vapor that is originating from this tray at this point, at this point, at this point, all of these vapors will have the same concentration because this liquid is perfectly mixed. So any vapor that is coming and meeting this liquid here, it is seeing the same concentration of liquid at any point. So it is stripping away the same concentration at every point. So we are having the same amount of vapor, that is same concentration of vapor at any point on the tray, and also the tray below, the same tower, right? So the tray below is also facing the same agitation, and the vapor that is coming out from the tray below is also having the same concentration at any point over the tray. So if we are talking about a particular tray, right, any vapor that is coming into the tray at any point has the same concentration. Any vapor that is going out is also having the same concentration. This is only possible for a small diameter tower. What is happening? That the average over the entire tray is same as at any one point, right? The average concentration over the entire tray is same as the concentration at any single point. That is what we are seeing at over here. Same here. And also the equilibrium concentration is also same, because equilibrium is also same at because in Murphy efficiency or at point efficiency, in case of Murphy, we are corresponding the x, the y star corresponding to the x over here. But if the x over here is same as the x on the tray, then it doesn't matter. So the y star for a small diameter tower is going to be the same uh, as the y star at any point on the tray corresponding to the x over here, because the x at any point on the tray or the x coming out of the tray is the same. Okay, now as all of these are becoming same, what happens? The Murphy tray efficiency and the point efficiency becomes the same for a small diameter tower. But all of this is not true for a larger tower. Larger towers are of practical significance, and in all practical purposes in the industry, the Murphy efficiency and point efficiency will not be the same. Let us try to answer this question whether Murphy efficiency can be greater than 1 or not. Look at this figure over here. Okay, so now I want your full attention on this one. Okay, it's very important. I told you that the concentration of vapor at initial junction will be higher compared to, let's say, in this area, because it is stripping away the more rich uh, liquid, which is more rich in the volatile components in this zone. Okay, compared to this area. Now what happens is that now what happens? This area right here will have a higher concentration, and the average of this, right, okay, now let's see if we can answer this question. Can Murphy efficiency be greater than 1? Now we know that there is a y star corresponding to this x n, so there is a y star over here corresponding to this x n for Murphy efficiency. But you have to understand one thing, that due to the concentration gradient over the tray over here, the concentration of the vapor at this region is high, and at this region it gradually decreases. Over here it is actually low compared to this initial region. What happens that due to this concentration gradient, when you take the average composition of the vapor over the entire tray, okay, now you get some yn average. Okay, some yn average. In some situation, what happens due to this imperfect mixing, the concentration gradient, what happens is that due to this initial high concentration in this initial region, this initial high concentrations affect your average value, and it hugely boosts the average value. Now this average value gets boosted, and the average yn is now quite high in this situation. In that case, in some situation, this yn average can be even higher than your y star that you have obtained over here. This is actually possible in the case of high concentration gradients, where imperfect mixing is happening on the tree. Due to this problem, what happens is that if you look at the equation of Murphy, okay, let us say the vapor coming to the tray is same, okay, but we can all say from the mathematics if is that when yn is greater than yn star, the numerator is greater than the denominator, and this becomes greater than 1. The Murphy efficiency becomes greater than 1 or greater than 100%. Okay. This has been further confirmed by Henry Kister in his famous book of distillation design, that he says that I have highlighted it, that in practice the concentration gradient exists in the liquid, which I have told you already, and this is the tray. So Xn at the outlet, the tray outlet, is lower than Xn on the tray. Yes, because there is a concentration gradient. So if this is the tray, this is the length of the tray L, and this is your concentration gradient X. So it will decrease along the tray like this. So initial stage in the tray, in this region, the concentration of the more volatile component in the liquid will be high. So Xn at the tray outlet is lower, so it will be low at the outlet and high over the tray, and this frequently lowers the Yn star relative to Yn, which I just told you, right? This Yn star, gets lowered compared to Yn due to this concentration gradient, which actually causes very rich concentration of vapor over that point, thus enhancing tray efficiency compared to point efficiency, due to which what happens is that um, the value of the Murphy efficiency or the tray efficiency gets highly boosted due to this gradient, and which then what happens is that we just saw that the Murphy efficiency exceeds 100%. Henry Kister uses XMV for the Murphy, just a matter of notation, but we are using EM. We are using EM. Okay. Now we just saw that Murphy efficiency can be greater than 1. Can point efficiency be greater than 1? Answer is no, because let's see, this is a tray. At any point in the tray, we are considering any one point, vapor coming to this point, vapor leaving this point, even the equilibrium corresponding to the liquid at this point. Okay, we are not considering what gradient we have on the this side. We are not taking any average. We are only focused on one point. We do not care what is happening at any other point. Basically, in your Murphy efficiency, you are taking this whole average along the tray, due to which the high concentration gradient region is coming into action, which is actually overpowering your Y star corresponding to the Xn at this point, at the outlet, right? But in point efficiency, that does not matter, because you are only focused on one point. You do not care about the high concentration gradient at the initial stage. You are only talking about the initial point, and every concentration is with respect to that initial point and not the average, which actually the average actually includes the concentration gradient. Okay. So I hope this is clear to you. Next, I want you all to try this GATE 2017 question. You comment the answer below. This is very simple. You are already given the values of the three components in the Murphy efficiency formula. Calculate it and answer me in the comment section. And after you find the answer to this question, you will get a very good insight about what I have used these references: Transport Processes and Unit Operation by Jean Coples, Distillation Design by Henry Kister, Separation Processes by Cedar, Henley, and Roper. And if you are liking my content, then please like, share, and subscribe. And I also have a request to you that if you are liking this type of exclusive content that you will not get anywhere else, then please share this video to your friends through WhatsApp groups and whatnot. Can get motivation to make more such videos for you. Okay, so kindly press the bell icon if you are liking this channel. uh, Give me suggestions on what videos I want, what videos you want me to make in the comment section. So thank you. I will see you soon.